Good evening, sir. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. Just picking up on a story a little earlier, the Inspector General of Labour told this programme a couple of weeks ago that over 3,000 workplaces had been inspected. 40% were non-compliant with COVID-19 rules. How does a worker exercise their right to a safe workplace? Bear in mind that many workers don't get paid if they don't work and won't want to be the one who blows the whistle.
Indeed, that's an issue that we also raised previously, that in terms of the directions that have been given, while they acknowledge that the workers have the right to refuse dangerous work, there's no protection enough. For an example, that if you are a shop steward or a leader of the trade union, if you order workers not to proceed with workplace, they may lose their income, but the employers may also sue you for loss of profit because your judgment may not be correct. So what we have been asking in terms of the NEDLAC response and talking to the Minister of Employment and Labour, that the new direction should protect that right, but enabling it that even if a shop steward or a health and safety member direct workers not to do dangerous work, they will not be liable for claims by the employer. So in the appointment of the compliance officers, we have been saying that we need to give them more powers and duties. As you are correctly pointing out that in our view, there are many unscrupulous employers, despite the directions given, but employers just ignore them and continue doing it. If you got 40% of employers not complying with this legislation, being aware that there will be no inspector in each and every workplace, it questions their commitment to save the life of the workers in the pursuit of profit.
What is the response at NEDLAC? Is there an acknowledgement that this is a real problem? Is there anything concrete that can be done?
It is acknowledged because you can't dispute it. And business seems to be says, trust on us, we'll do everything to ensure that our members comply. And if they don't comply, government must take drastic action. We don't think it is enough for a member of any organization to do as it pleases, because then it questions the credibilities of those that they negotiate on their behalf. We've been saying to the government that the incentives to commit crime is very high here, because the punishment or the fines are very, very low. Any employers can budget for that one and continue to do wrong things as long as they are not being caught up. We said there have to be high punitive measures, and we wanted the new directions to talk to that one. For an example, there has to be an incentive that if you are found not to comply with this legislation, you should not do business with government. It is one of them. The second one is the question that if you,
so you want some sort of penalty, some sort of punishment if people don't do what they're meant to be doing. In the article in Business Live, you write, taxpayers' money is going to be used to bail out and help businesses. We need all those companies that are going to receive money to agree to moratorium on retrenchments. Now, I understand your reasoning. You're going, well, you know what, if you're going to get money, you need to protect your workers. But I'm concerned that the severity of the economic impact is so bad that you might have a situation where a company goes, well, it's either close the company or at least save half the workers, otherwise I'm going out of business despite the government help. Is there any room for compromise, and how would you even begin to enforce that? How is that being met, that suggestion at NEDLAC?
We think there has to be condition. To what degree the conditions should be, we should be subject to an open mind of engagement. But the principle is that you can't be asking the public to fund the company, but at the same time you close the company. The question is that where the money should go. The money that is given by the state or from the fiscus can't go to support the dividends for shareholders. That's a principle that we are putting forward, that everything possible must be done to retain jobs. That's why, as we speak now, the first instances was that from the UIF, one of the costs, the high cost in business has been the wages, as we are told. Now, if the wages is paid by government, there should be no reasons for employers to retrench the same workers whom they don't pay salaries for, because the salaries would be coming from government. The question would be then, where does the money go? So that's a principle. But of course, as a trade union, we're always open to persuasions, to reasons, and if people got better ideas, they must come with those ideas forward. But we don't accept that money should be just given to employers to do whatever they do with that money.
Yeah, defending workers' rights is not an easy task in these times of extreme financial distress. And thank you very much for your insights this evening. That's Cosatu General Secretary Bheki Ntshalitshali.